Hi, I'm Jodi-Anne, a wellbeing educator and healing facilitator. I've channeled over 100 answers to questions about life. These have been recorded through automatic writing, answering a broad range of questions about life and how it works, and how we can be peaceful and happy. Today's topic is, how do you free yourself from fear? Join me as we explore this topic and go deep within to heal and find peace. Fear takes hold of us when we're put into a state of physical danger. It's a natural mechanism designed to help us. It's the fight, flight, or freeze response associated with the amygdala in the brain. When a wild animal or caveman is attacking you, it's a good response. Blood flows away from your organs, your digestion, your immune system, and brain, and it goes to your muscles so that you've got the best chance of winning the fight or outrunning your attacker. And in this response, you are helped to survive. However, for many people, their bodies are locked in fight or flight mode all the time. This is not helpful or healthy. It makes the body stressed and unable to do all that it needs to do with ease and grace. We need to help calm and soothe our bodies back to a state of peace and relaxation. We need to let go of the tension that accumulates so readily in modern life. Many of us are rushing around all the time, trying to meet deadlines, putting ourselves under unnecessary pressure to achieve, trying to succeed in our jobs, our homes, our families, wanting to have the best of everything. Modern society measures success based on wealth and possessions. This is not an accurate description of success, for it ignores the lack of joy, close relationships, the poor health, fatigue, and exhaustion that comes from always being on the go. A truer measure of success is peace and happiness. Is a person happy with their life? Are they operating from their passion, fulfilling their creativity and their purpose? Are they loved, loving, and kind, with many close friends and healthy relationships with family, work colleagues, and even with those they meet on the street? Do they have time to spend with their kids? And do their kids know that they're loved, important, valued, and heard? Or are they waving goodbye to the kids who are in front of the TV as they go off to work, rushing around? Which version of life do you relate to most? If it's the one where it's focused on achieving and possessions and wealth and rush, 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 then it's not surprising that your body may be locked in a fearful state. There's no deep relaxation when someone is constantly on the go, rushing around. The body doesn't get a chance to relax and recharge. Sleep may be broken, and there may be less of it than is actually needed for good health. During sleep, the body realigns with its natural state. With the mind switched off, it can finally connect with Source, Universe, the Divine, whatever you want to call that, Mother Nature. And when we tune in and we're relaxed in that way, our body actually lets go of the residue of the day. There's a clearing out process that occurs as we sleep. Some of it appears as dreams, and some of it just releases. But deep sleep is needed for this restorative process to occur. If a person's locked into chronic fear, they may struggle to sleep soundly, which then exacerbates the situation as the body doesn't get the time to heal itself that it needs. Sleep really is very important, and it's worth going to bed an hour earlier so that you can get more sleep. It's certainly more important than watching TV or playing games. Most of people's fears today are not about life and death situations. It's usually about stressful situations that we're being faced with due to pushing ourselves too hard with modern living. We might be stressed and, reacting in fear to the traffic, to job pressures, to rushing around, to feeling like we don't have enough time to do everything that's needed. These are the superficial fears, the feeling like the wheels will fall off if you actually stop to rest. And theoretically, these fears are easily rectified by actually choosing to do less, by realizing that you're living at a pace the human body hasn't been designed for. We need to actually slow down and choose to do less. We can cut out unnecessary tasks and only do those things that bring us joy and that are truly required to live a happy and healthy life. You don't have to do so many things. You can choose. The deeper seated fears that people have often come from childhood conditioning, and these are fears around their sense of worth. Am I good enough? Am I lovable? Am I acceptable as a human being? These are core fears. They're doubts about your being, your essence, that have resulted from not receiving enough of your parents' attention, love, and kindness when you were little. With modern lifestyles, this is only getting worse as more and more families have two working parents and the children are spending more time in front of the TV and in childcare than they do talking with or having fun with mum and dad. And mum and dad are so much more stressed that even when they are with the children, the level of connection and energetic exchange is more on that high stress, nervous, anxiety level because of the rushing around, etc. And so the kids don't feel nurtured, they don't feel nourished, seen, and heard. Children's developing brains do not have the capacity to understand that mum and dad are working so hard because they think that they need to have the big fancy house and cars and holiday homes. Children simply see that mum and dad don't want to spend time with them and they assume it's because of a lack inside of themselves. Kids automatically, in their young years, think everything's about them. They don't see the bigger picture. So unfortunately, they assume if I was more lovable or if I was a better person, if I was more like XYZ, whatever it is that mum and dad like, so if dad's sporty, if I was more athletic, then dad would want to spend time with me more. If I was smarter, dad would want to spend time with me more, etc., etc. The children see that the parents aren't doing that and assume that they don't value spending time with me. They don't make time for it or prioritize it. Therefore, I must not be valuable or lovable. No parent wants their children to think this, but it is unfortunately what they assume when they don't get enough of your attention and enough of your love and nurturance. This is not to say parents are doing a bad job. Parents do the best that they can in the situations they're in. But for children's brains to develop in optimal conditions, they actually do need quality time and they need to be able to attach and bond with a parent and to feel safe and to be seen, heard, valued, and loved. When that doesn't occur, when they don't get enough of that quality time and attention, they end up making these assumptions and it sets a scene for a fearful life. And they can end up with low self-esteem. They are needy, so they're looking outside of themselves for validation, constantly looking for evidence that their fears are real. So as they're walking down the street, they might see people and assume about how that person's responding to them, when in fact that person's not even paying attention to them. They're distracted in their own world. But the child, and then as we grow into adults, may actually use false evidence appearing real, which is fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real, to justify their beliefs and their way of looking at life. So see the way that person looked at me? It confirms my fear that the world's a cruel place or a dangerous place. See how that one pushed past me and rushed by? Those people might not have even noticed them. It's not deliberate or targeted, but because of the fearful thinking, the person takes it to heart and draws false conclusions about the world and their safety in it. In time, with enough fearful thinking, it becomes habituated and the body goes about reacting as if it's always in danger. And then you live the day on high alert, which is not healthy. As it takes hold, the body gets overloaded, and the result can be panic attacks and high anxiety levels. The body is so full of adrenaline and cortisol and the other fear-related, chemicals, that it becomes quite toxic, and our normal thinking abilities cease, because when we're in fight, flight, and freeze, the the blood flow moves away from the thinking brain and goes to the hind brain to defend ourselves, to be able to run away or to hide. And so we can't think our way out of it, because the brain, the conscious part of our brain, the thinking part of our brain, the neocortex, it's not actually getting the blood flow to enable that to occur easily. But underneath all of this fear is faulty thinking, false assumptions about ourselves and about our ability to cope with life. These negative self-messages may have been programmed into your subconscious mind when you were little, leaving you feeling weak and helpless. From 0 to 7, the developing brain of a child simply absorbs what it hears, like a tape recording. So what a child hears becomes what they believe about themselves and their abilities to succeed in life. It becomes the inner talk that they then say to themselves, and the programming in their subconscious mind. So if a child is told that it's weak, clumsy, useless, unwanted, a burden, not good enough, then these become the core beliefs that the person will live with throughout their life unless they learn how to change them. So from 0 to 7, we're just receiving this programming, this downloading from the environment that we're exposed to, our parents, our teachers, the people we interact with, the media. We're receiving all of these messages over and over and over and over again. If a child is told it is hopeless or that it can't achieve, then they're going to struggle to be successful throughout their life, because they will have this internal recording, this internal self-sabotage because of that programming, and it will kick in and stop them from being successful. It will create high levels of stress and anxiety whenever they try to achieve anything, as that tape recording is playing constantly in the subconscious mind. And it will be warning them, telling them that they're going to fail, or they're in danger of making a fool of themselves if they try, etc. So you're better off not taking the risk. Some people are aware of this negative self-talk. They can hear it. But for others, it is occurring quietly below the surface. But it is occurring regularly throughout the day. And this negative self-talk, this expectation of danger or abuse or threat, this adds to our fear and to our anxiety and to why our bodies feel as tense as they do. So overcoming the fear and anxiety requires turning up the volume of that self-talk so that you can hear it, and then taking action to change it. Every time you hear a negative self-belief, you can choose to stop it and say something more positive to yourself. Instead of, you always do that, you always stuff up, you can say with kindness to yourself, in the past I've struggled, that's true, but now I'm choosing to be kinder to myself. I can do this. I just have to practice and build my skills. So you become your own best friend and encourager of yourself. For me, I actually, in the early days, would literally, visualize having my hand go up like a stop sign to stop that inner voice, that monologue, and to stop those thoughts. And as soon as it would start, because it's your inner critic and your controller and your pusher, and that's another topic for another day, subpersonalities. But it's that inner monologue, that inner voice that has a certain tone and a certain critical harshness to it. You can start to recognize that voice. And whenever it starts, you can put your hand up and stop it. And I've actually got to the point now that usually within the first word, I have it stopped. And I automatically actually will tell it to basically to shut up in as nice a way as possible, because I'm no longer prepared to let myself be talked to that way. And this is just a process that as you repeat it often enough, it becomes automatic that you're standing up for yourself. And that's one level of action you can take to minimize that self-talk and the impact that that has on how you're feeling. The deeper level of action that can be taken is to actually change the subconscious beliefs, to reprogram them so that you're actually believing more positive and supportive beliefs about yourself, about life, and about your ability to achieve your goals. And there are many ways to reprogram subconscious beliefs. It includes Psych K, which is the method that I've learnt and that I use. There's the Lifeline Technique, there's Hypnosis, there's affirmations. With affirmations, you have to repeat them long enough and often enough so that the statement becomes habitual thought. While affirmations take a long time, the other techniques are much quicker because they're working at that subconscious level. With Psych K, it only takes a few minutes to replace a negative belief with a more positive one. But we all need to actually reprogram huge numbers of beliefs, because it's amazing what's inside us that we've recorded from what we've been told from 0 to 7 about how we look, how we behave, whether we're good enough. All of these different beliefs need to be looked at and reprogrammed. And as you do that work, the tension in your body relaxes. It starts to release as that fearful programming is let go of. And if you know that you're safe, loved, wanted, and cared for, then there's less reason to be on high alert. So the body starts to relax and to know that the danger has passed. And there are other ways that we can do that too to enhance that. So that deep level of core belief change is needed for the relaxation to occur. That's why just thinking positively isn't enough, because you might be telling yourself that I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. But internally, your body is sending messages to the brain saying that you're in danger, that there's threats out there, that you need to be, on high alert, you need to take care, etc., etc. And our conscious mind that we think with only represents 5% of our brain's processing capacity. 90 to 95% of the capacity is occurring in the subconscious mind. It's much quicker and much stronger and more capable. And it has to be that way because our subconscious mind takes care of everything that occurs in our body without us even being aware of it. So it's making our body function. It's making our hearts beat, our lungs breathe, our stomachs to digest our food. It's doing all of those different things, regulating our temperature, etc., etc. It does all of this without our having to think about it. And it's so powerful that it overrides our conscious thoughts. For instance, we can't make ourselves stop breathing or not be hungry. Our body will force us to breathe and it'll let us know that we need to eat. So just using positive thinking isn't enough to overcome these deeper bodily reactions and programming. We have to do change work at that subconscious level to change the core self-beliefs to help our body relax and to let go of fear. Diet and exercise also assist the body to be healthier, as does extra sleep, vitamins, and minerals. There are many things that can be done to help the body let go of fear. Massage and other forms of body work can help a body in heightened fight or flight mode to slow down, to relax a little, to start to ground back into the body. And for those that have been abused or who have suffered trauma, the body work's really important because you need to learn that it's safe to be touched. It's crucial to know that it's safe to be touched so that your body can relax and soften and feel safe. And it takes time for this to occur. Someone who's been traumatized and hasn't released the underlying emotion may automatically flinch when touched. They automatically pull away out of fear for further abuse or trauma. And that's so sad. And that will continue unless action is taken to heal that. The nervous system of someone locked in fight or flight mode is constantly activated. And there are other methods you can use to help calm the nervous system. The one that I use most is TRE, tension and trauma release exercises. And it's a natural inbuilt mechanism in the body to help it to relax and to release tension and stress. When a person's nervous system calms, it's easier for them to relate to and connect with others because then their body's more open and more receptive. It's no longer fearful and assuming danger is everywhere. When you can move back out of freeze, down through fight and flight, down to calm, peaceful place of that lower level, then you can actually see the beauty and the goodness in the world. TRE and other trauma release processes that focus on healing the autonomic nervous system are an important aspect of healing from fear so that you can have greater peace and relaxation. Underneath the fear and anxiety is buried emotions from the initial events that led to the conditioning. This may be sadness or anger or shame or embarrassment. Whatever it is, these emotions need to be felt and released so the body can go back to its natural state of peace and relaxation. There's so much that can be done. Know that it is possible to overcome exaggerated fear responses. It's possible to heal these automatic reactions. It just takes time and effort to calm and soothe your body, to reprogram your subconscious beliefs, to feel and release the emotions, and to use more self-supportive thinking and self-talk patterns. Spending time in nature also soothes us, as does body work, diet, and exercise. There's lots that you can do. You just need to choose different methods and try them and see which works for you. Thank you for watching this short video on overcoming fear. I hope you've found it interesting and insightful, and it's given you some ideas of where to start with your healing journey in relation to overcoming fear. It's my aim to empower people with the skills and knowledge to walk their healing journeys as gently and peacefully as possible. There are over 100 of these answers to questions about life available for free on the Life Insights page of my website. Please visit to learn more about the healing journey and ways to live peacefully and happily. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.